On the world news tonight from Babagagide Imo Television, I am Morire Rabila Lawal. First, the headlines. Senate confirms Olu Koyede as EFCC chairman, Amajoda as secretary. Politicians think it's impossible to win elections without rigging plan, Itodo. Why Nigerian foods are rejected abroad, NAFDAC. Why I'm working from Ibadan, Akeredolu. And on sports, Super Falcons defender named in PSG squad for Man United clash. The news in detail. The Senate today confirmed Ola Olukoyede as the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC). The Red Chamber also confirmed the appointment of Mohammed Amajoda as the secretary of the Anti-Graft Agency. The confirmation of both men followed their screening by the upper chamber on Wednesday afternoon, about a week after they were appointed by President Bola Tinubu. The Senate also screened and confirmed the appointment of Ali Mashehu as the Chief Executive Officer of the National Social Investment Program Agency. The President had on October 12, 2023, appointed Olukoyede and Amajoda as Chair and Secretary of the Commission respectively. The leadership of the country's focal anti-graft agency has experienced shake-up in the last few months since the assumption of President on May 29, 2023. On June 14, 2023, the President suspended Abdulrashid Bawa indefinitely as the anti-graft agency boss. Bawa was suspended to allow for proper investigation into his conduct while in office. The action followed weighty allegations of abuse of office leveled against him. The President subsequently directed the Director of Operations at the Commission, Abdulkarim Chokol, to step in as acting EFCC chair while the Department of State Services DSS took Bawa into custody. However, with last Thursday's appointment and Wednesday confirmation by the Senate, Olukoyede becomes the new helmsman of the Commission. The Executive Director of Election Observer, YIAGA African, Samson Itodo, says many Nigerian politicians have developed a mindset that considers election rigging as a necessary component for their campaign strategies. He said these while lamenting the questionable outcome of elections in Nigeria on Wednesday edition of a program. Itodo claimed that politicians budget for compromising officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission, security personnel, and even election observers, noting that such practices have become disturbingly common in the Nigerian political arena. The Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Mojisola Adeyeye, has said non-compliance with advisory guidelines is one of the reasons Nigerian food products are rejected in the United Kingdom. Mrs. Adeyeye, while speaking at a press briefing in Abuja Tuesday, said the unwillingness of exporters to comply with minimal sanitary measures also contribute to products being rejected. She, however, said the agency had a scheduled side event with the UK's Food Standard Agency in order to change the narrative on the incidence of rejection of Nigerian food products in the international markets. She said the agency also engaged the FSA on the non-notification of such reject and non-engagement of the agency on the matter. She highlighted the need for mutual recognition of electronic certification of both government agencies of export certification, among others. The challenges bedeviling the export process of NAFDAC regulated product, especially assuring safety and quality status of food exports in Nigeria, has been traced to non-compliance with advisory guidelines established by NAFDAC to encourage participatory exports, she said. She said almost all exported food products are processed without the statutory testing by NAFDAC. Therefore, it is not surprising that all the items exported without NAFDAC quality control and safety tests are rejected. The Oyo State Governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, has revealed the actual reason he is working from Akure, the state capital. I beg your pardon, he is not working from the state capital. Akeredolu spoke on Tuesday through his special advisor on special duty and strategy, Doyin Odebowale. According to him, the Oyo State Governor is not working from the state capital because of accommodation challenges. Akeredolu has been absent from the state since his return from a medical vacation abroad. The decision of Akeredolu to walk from Ibadan, Oyo State, has caused ripples within the state, with the youth of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) on Monday issuing an ultimatum to the governor to return. However, Adebowale, while speaking on the development, said due to the governor Akeredolu's state of health, he needs a better apartment to carry out his tasks as governor. He said Aketi came back in September, where he used to stay. The presidential lodge built for the visiting president at that time, Olusegun Obasanjo, is a 2-bedroom apartment. Now he's back, he cannot occupy that place again. The old governor's office, the governor's lodge built by the previous administration, is now the office of the investment outlet called the ODPA. That's the office. He wondered why critics wanted the principal back in the state, maintaining that governance has been going on smoothly, despite Akeredolu not being physically present in Ondo State. Adebowale added, when they say they want to see Aketi, do they want to see him at the site so that he would be carrying cement or following workmen? Moving on to the next story. The daughter of Honorable Bukuru Bacha, a member of the Borno State House of Assembly representing Ngala local government area, was strangled to death by unknown assailant around Gate and Dembe in Maiduguri. The incident unfolded less than 24 hours after Governor Babagana Zulum issued orders for the demolition of protest shanties and makeshift beer joints at the railway terminus general area, attributing these sites to fostering criminal activities and related killings in the city. Reports indicate that the horrifying incident transpired around 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, while the victim's husband had left the compound to attend prayers at the nearby mosque. Upon his return, he discovered the lifeless body of his wife in the house, her hands and legs tied behind her back. Their 2-year-old child was found crying beside her. The husband, identified as Mr. Amabua, reported the tragic discovery to the police. The Gwenye Police Division took charge of the case, evacuated the deceased body to the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital for autopsy and further investigation. The shocking incident caused palpable tension and chaos in the vicinity, prompting a substantial crowd of concerned residents to gather at the scene, seeking to comprehend the harrowing event. A family source who relayed that the stirring news of the incident on social media confirmed that the deceased would be laid to rest the following morning, according to Muslim Right in Maiduguri. Moving on to the next story. The Lagos State Commissioner Idowu Omonwa has removed the Mayoral Divisional Police Officer Tony Abutu and 3 other policemen for extorting 200,000 naira from a mobile phone engineer and dealer Ibrahim Salihu in the state. Abutu was removed less than 24 hours after a report on Salih's allegation against the 3 policemen was published. He was said to have been accused by the Lagos CP of leadership, dereliction, and supervisory ineptitude. The removal was announced on Wednesday by the command spokesperson Benjamin Udahin through a short statement released on his social media handle. According to him, meanwhile, all the officers involved have been identified and are currently at the command headquarters, where their orderly run trial has commenced. Salihu narrated that trouble started when the policemen detained him and his brother Olaya Murtala for not providing an identity card or the receipt for the iPhones found with his brother. He said he had sent his brother to his shop with 6 iPhones, but during a stop and search, the policemen intercepted and took him to the police station. He added that when he rushed to the police station to secure his brother's release, he was asked to provide his ID card and receipts for the phones which were not available at the time. He explained, "I'm an engineer and I sell phones." About 2 hours later, he called that some policemen on patrol had collected the phones from him and taken him to the station. When he got there, the DPO asked him to produce ID card and receipt of the phones, which he said he does not have. After the explanation, the DPO took the iPhones, removed the warranty stickers on them, and declared that his brother and him were thieves and armed robbers. The next thing he heard from the DPO, giving order to detain them and should be locked up for stealing and armed robbery. They were so surprised that they started begging. Salihu added that the DPO later asked him to pay 500,000 naira to secure their freedom, saying that they begged him until they settled for 200,000 naira, which the policemen insisted must be paid in cash. According to him, one of the policemen led him to a nearby POS close to the station, and he withdrew 182,000 naira in addition to the 20,000 naira he had on him, and handed it over to the policemen after they were released. And to the next story. The family of allegedly killed and dismembered Tekla Eke has appealed for accelerated justice delivering in the murder case. Tekla 35 was allegedly killed and dismembered on March 7 by one Ediri Ibudu. Our younger brother, Mr. Justice Eke, made the appeal on Tuesday in Lagos. Tekla was residing at Ajegule, Lagos State. Justice alleged that Tekla's alleged mother, or I beg your pardon, Justice alleged that Tekla's alleged murderer, who had been a friend of the family for over 18 years, did the act and buried out different parts in Lagos graves. He said that though the police had arrested the suspect, they had not done enough to prosecute the case. Justice said that the police demanded 2.8 million naira to carry out a DNA test on the body parts he recovered so far to ascertain if the part belonged to Tekla. He also alleged that the police demanded 250,000 naira to investigate 5 bank accounts the deceased had. He claimed that the suspect tampered with funds in the accounts. Justice said the family members could not afford the monies requested by the police. According to him, the family members are facing many challenges, including loss of their mother 2 months after Tekla's death, as well as illness by Tekla's eldest sister, who was diagnosed with cancer. 2 persons who carry the responsibility of a family on their shoulders are no more, he said. He called on government to ensure justice in the case. My sister's body was dead in the Dastardly Act, here heard somewhere and other parts found somewhere. Police are asking us to run a DNA test. They're asking the 2.8 million naira for DNA and 250,000 naira for account check. Moving on to the next story. My husband used a loan he obtained in my name to rent a property for his side chick, a policewoman testifies in court. Due to allegations of deceit and domestic violence, a female police officer has petitioned a customary court in Jikoi FCT to end our marriage. She further informed the court that he obtained a 750,000 naira loan from Microfinance Bank in her name without her consent. On Tuesday, October 17th, that she gave a testimony in court stating she didn't know her hubby, a police officer, had 2 kids before agreeing to marry him. The mother of one further informed the court that he obtained the loan, 750,000 naira, from a microfinance bank in her name without her consent and lied about using it to pay for building supplies while renting an apartment for his side business. When I questioned him about the use of the phone, he claimed that he purchased wood and zinc. Nevertheless, I later learned that he had actually hired and furnished an apartment for a woman. He misled me into marrying him because I was unaware that he already had 2 children and had recently been pregnant with another, according to Angela. Angela asked the court to allow her request for a divorce on the grounds that her husband hits her whenever he gets the chance. Every time they had arguments, they always resort to fighting. Before my husband murders me and my child is left without a caregiver, she pleaded with the court to grant her the custody of a couple's sole child and divorce the marriage. From that story, we'll go to the foreign story. President Joe Biden said Wednesday the United States would work with Israel to prevent civilian death as it pounds Gaza, with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu promising to make efforts. We will continue to have your back as you work to defend your people. We will continue to work with you and partner across the region to prevent more tragedy to innocent civilians, Biden said after meeting Netanyahu's war cabinet in Tel Aviv. Netanyahu renewed charges that Hamas, which controls the Gaza Strip, and launched a deadly assault inside Israel on October 7th, deliberately put civilians near targets in the hope of using them as shields. But Netanyahu told Biden, as we proceed in this war, Israel will do everything it can to keep civilians out of harm's way. We have asked them and we will continue to ask them to move to safer areas. We will continue to work with you, Mr. President, to assure that the minimum requirements are met, Netanyahu said. Biden is paying a solidarity visit to Israel following a deadly Hamas assault which has prompted an Israeli air campaign and the threat of a ground offensive in the Gaza Strip. Finally, on sports. Super Falcons defender Nicole Payne has been named in the Paris Saint-Germain squad for their UEFA Women's Champions League clash against Manchester United female team. Payne is among the 25 players selected for the game by manager Jocelyn Pritchard. The fullback failed to make the matchday squad for the first leg. The 20-year-old joined PSG from USC Trojans this summer but has struggled for regular playing time at the club. The Nigerian is yet to make an appearance for PSG in the league. Payne's only appearance came in the League Cup clash against Olympic Lyon. She is in Nigeria's squad for the 2024 Olympic Games qualifier against Ethiopia. We've come to the end of today's world news from Bababagede Imo Television. Before we go, some headlines. Senate confirms Olu Koyede as EFCC chairman and Majoda as secretary. Politicians think it's impossible to win elections without rigging plan. Itodo. Why Nigerian foods are rejected abroad. NAFDAC. Why I'm working from Ibadan. Akeredolu speaks. Abacha's daughter strangled to death by unknown gunmen in Borno. And on sport, Super Falcons defend the name in PSG squad for Manchester United clash female team. For updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Bababagede Imo Television. Can you subscribe and click on the notification bell? Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alariwe Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advertisements of goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on the screen. For everything in life, character is key. I am Morire Rabila Lawa. Good evening.